This over? Is Fauci off the hook, or do you still believe there's a chance that at some point he'll be indicted for all these lies and essentially at least perjury that he's committed, if not really have to be held responsible for the lives that were lost because of this, but how many lives were lost because of the cover-up? Or how about the amount of lives that were destroyed and education destroyed, forcing people to socially distance and lock themselves at home? And now he says, oh, actually, that just popped up, was never based on science. I mean, I think many of us, I know there's got to be a weight of the world on your shoulders because we're like, come on, Rand, you got to get this guy. Are you going to get this guy?
The one thing we know that's not over is you're still paying him. A limo picks him up every day, and he has a security detail 24/7, which is completely ridiculous. And he gets up in front of the committee and whines about death threats. And then he blames it on me. He says, somehow I'm responsible for the death threats. The week he blamed that on me, I had 34 death threats, and you don't hear me whining about it. I don't like it, but the thing is they want to make it about, oh, it's only people from the left that are getting death threats. No, I get my share of them. I've had people who have actually gone to prison for threatening me. And the disappointing thing is he's still on the take. Basically, a limo driver picks him up every day at his home, takes him wherever he wants to go. Will he get justice? This Department of Justice won't. Would the next one? Maybe. The main reason I want to pursue it is, I think he deserves to be in prison. But more than that, I don't want this to happen again. I'm with several of these scientists who believe that the next time is going to be worse, and that it may be sooner than we think. And that instead of, COVID, as bad as it was 0.3% deadly.
Correct.
0.3%. That was about 1 million people in America. What if we get one that's 20% deadly? What if we get one that's 50% deadly? This is what happened when you had the bubonic plague and the Black Death of the 14th century. Europe was put back several centuries, and you had marauding bands of people just killing each other and taking their food. Nobody was growing any food. It descended into utter chaos. Think what happens in our country when you don't have chlorinated water, when you don't have sewage, when the accidents don't get removed from the road, when there is no government left, when half the police die, when half the firefighters die. We will descend into chaos, and this is going to happen again if we don't do something about it. So my biggest project right now is a gain-of-function reform bill. I'm talking actively with the Democrat chairman of my committee. I'm very hopeful we can get it done. We're talking to all these scientists, and basically it'll be a committee, and somebody has to appoint it, so it's probably going to be presidentially appointed. They'll have a term of office. They'll be approved by the Senate. But then their mandate will be not to wait for research to be sent to them, but to look at all research. And each person asking for money is going to have to also volunteer whether they think there's a possibility there'll be gain of function. But we're going to actively look at all of this research. And it won't be me, because I think people don't want politicians deciding what is and what isn't science. These will be scientists that will look at it. But we hope we can get scientists who are skeptical and worried enough about it. One of the scientists from MIT says this is like nuclear weapons. This should be treated with the same degree of respect that we look at arms control, that we should be worried about this enough that people are looking at these different viruses and saying, this is an atomic weapon that could get loose. Should we really do this experiment? Should we try to make Ebola spread through the air just to see if we can? But that's the kind of lunacy they're doing now. And I'm not going to rest until we actually get some oversight on that.